Everyone has to live somewhere, and everyone has to invest their money someplace. So what happens when where you live meets up with where your money is invested? Hello, real estate. Hey, welcome back to Big Money Real Estate. This is my Wednesday interview program on the Expert Real Estate Tips channel here on YouTube. I'm Elise Glink, and I'm here to help you make the best money moves possible. Be sure to subscribe for weekly insight and tips from real estate and personal finance experts that I interview on the show each week. This week, my guest is Dave Mele. He just celebrated his one-year anniversary as president of Homes.com, by some measures the fourth largest real estate web portal by traffic. On a monthly basis, Homes.com gets 20 million visits to the site, and they have 3 million or so properties listed. That's a whole lot of page views each month, especially given that only 5 million or so homes will be sold all year round. Dave, welcome to Big Money Real Estate.
Great, thanks Elise, great to be back with you.
It's nice to have you back. Let's start with the obvious. Why does the world need another real estate portal? I mean, clearly you're doing very well here, but what I really am trying to get at is what does Homes.com do that's different from, say, Trulia, Realtor.com, and Zillow?
Well, that's a great question, because what we have is we have a number of choices available for consumers in the marketplace. But we have a very different strategy in terms of what really our mission is. We have really a single focused mission, and that is to help consumers find their next home. And you would think, well, isn't that what all of the real estate search portals do? But it's a lot different for us, because if we look at our traffic, and you mentioned some of our traffic stats, but we have about 13 million unique visitors, as you mentioned, 20 million visits to the site each month. And you put that in context with the number of homes that are sold in a year. And again, as you mentioned in the lead, there are only 5 million homes sold in the year. So 10 million transaction sides, buyer and a seller. So the big difference for us is the consumer that's coming to Homes.com is coming really with one goal in mind, and that's to find their home. So 90% of the visits at Homes.com are in our homes for sale or homes for rent section. That's dramatically different than on some of the other sites, say Zillow, for example, where lots of their traffic is looking for home values. And of course, someone's looking for a home value for a wide range of reasons. Oftentimes, it's to understand their own net worth and part of their investment strategy, rather than identifying a home to buy at any point in time. So for us, it's a difference in strategy.
Well, let me just jump in and ask you a quick question about that, because Realtor.com is truly about homes for sale as well, right?
That's true. What we have going on is there's really an arms race for traffic right now. So with Zillow purchasing Trulia earlier this year, you have the Zillow group, and then with Rupert Murdoch having purchased Realtor.com last year, you have Realtor.com, and they're in an arms race just to grow their traffic, right, to get more and more consumers coming to their site. It's worth noting both of them are publicly traded companies, right? So we are a privately held company. So for us, it's not about bigger and bigger. What we want to do is be better, right? So for us and for our real estate professional customers, so agents and brokers, what they're looking for is they want a consumer who is looking to buy or sell real estate right now. And that's what Homes.com delivers. So again, it's not 50 million unique visitors, it's not 100 million. I know the Zillow group just cited a figure, 140 million unique visitors in a month. And that, to us, it's certainly a strategy, but it's not our strategy.
No, what they're doing is they're scraping out those leads and they're reselling them to all kinds of partners and loans. And I'm sure you're probably doing something similar as well. I want to ask about school scores. So when I started writing about real estate, many years ago, there was a company called School Match, which you would hire to help you find the best school district. Today, that's all become online. I think School Match is still around. You've got School Scores. Zillow and Redfin also have school rating tools. Tell us what School Scores does.
Well, what School Scores does for us is it delivers a really important decision-making piece of information to our consumers. We know for a healthy portion, for a large portion of the consumers who are coming to our site. The quality of school is very important. And so what we've created is really our own proprietary school score. And it's based on performance data, state test performance data. And then we analyze the performance of schools across the state and compare them to each other. So when a consumer is conducting a property search, when they go to the detail page on a particular listing, they'll see exactly the schools that are in that school zone where the home is, and then they will get a home's school score. So really, it's providing a piece of information that's very important to many consumers.
Now, you also have just partnered, I think, with the Department of Energy on the Home Energy Information Accelerator Program, which
Right.
is supposed to provide consumers with information about energy efficiency home features, right? Okay, so everybody wants to be green. How does that connect for your consumers? Are you seeing that a lot of people are going to those ratings or are taking, are using that information?
Well, we certainly know it's important to our consumers. So I can't tell you that the properties that have the green identifying mark, that those properties are getting more traffic. What I can tell you is that is an important criterion for many consumers. And for example, we pulled our own, we did our own survey, and what we found is that energy efficient green features are very, very important. And interestingly, we looked at the top three, and number one was having energy efficient appliances. And number two was having energy efficient windows. And then number three was the potential to have solar panels. So we know that these features are important. What I can't tell you yet is, are the properties that are identifying these features getting more traffic? We'll have more data for you that in an upcoming segment.
Okay. What else is Homes.com doing to support real estate professionals on that side? So I know that on the commercial side, you've got advertising and marketing services for real estate professionals. You're managing MLS feeds for what sounds like a huge percentage of the country and working on data aggregation, which I'm sure you then serve up back to real estate companies and through their own feeds. That's a lot of work on that side. But what else are you doing with professionals?
Well, the number one thing is connecting the professional to the consumer in all of the ways you just identified. One of the other things that we're doing is we're equipping professionals with information to help them better do their jobs. One of the ways we do that is with our local market reports. So each month we provide a report that shows how each individual local market is performing in terms of price appreciation, and then we connect that back to the Great Recession. So it's interesting where we can report, in fact, we just reported for July that we hit a milestone. So in the top 300 markets, we now have a majority of markets that have recovered beyond their Great Recession low water mark. So looking at price recovery and then helping agents understand what's happening in their individual market with prices helps them in their listing presentations and with their competitive marketing analysis.
So even if you have by July, half of all of the 100 markets, 50 out of 100,
That's
experiencing a complete price recovery, which is pretty awesome. What about the rest? Where are we?
Well, we're making our way back. So what we saw in July is that 24 more markets recovered beyond their low water mark. So that's a pretty significant number.
Yeah.
So again, here I'm talking about the top 300. We saw 24 more cross the barrier, and so that's great movement,
Yeah.
really, in the market.
So,
So that's what we're seeing, but we still have a ways to go.
all right, where are you guys going this year? What's the outlook for 2016 for Homes.com?
Hey, we're excited. What we have is we have tremendous growth underway. It's interesting, if you look at the first 8 months of this year, so January through August, we were the second fastest real estate portal in terms of traffic growth of all of the sites. So actually faster growing than Zillow or Trulia. Full disclosure to my friends at Realtor.com, they were the fastest growing site for the first 8 months. So we have a lot of momentum behind us in terms of traffic growth. And what we're doing now is we're rolling out new products to help agents and brokers connect to consumers. What we know is about 76% of the consumers who are coming to Homes.com are not yet working with a real estate professional. So our mission is connect that consumer to the trusted advisor, the real estate agent who can help them with the purchase.
So I keep hearing about how this is a new, longer game, right? I mean, the people who are coming, again, I'm just going to go through numbers because I want to make sure everybody at home really understands this, which is that if you have 20 million visits and 13 million unique monthly visits, right, over the course of a year, you're looking at 140 million unique monthly visits, roughly, to do the math on the back of this hand, right?
Right.
But we know that there's, at the most, 10 million sides of real estate. A lot of the same people are buying and selling in the same market. So real estate agents, to say that 76% of them are not connected, not all of those people are actually going to buy in the next 6 months or a year, clearly, or we would have a lot better real estate market than we do. So is this a new, longer game that real estate agents have to play, where they get involved with people and they may have to be involved with them buying leads back from places like Zillow and Realtor.com and you guys and Trulia, which I know really aggravates them, but for a much longer period of time in order to capture a lead that actually is going to convert?
Possibly. And I think that's really one of our advantages for agents and brokers is that we're going to tend to have a more transaction-ready consumer coming to Homes.com. So what it means is it's going to be a shorter cycle. And part of that is the way that we assemble our consumer audience. So it's not broad-based television advertising. It's really behavioral-based, mostly search-driven. So what we're doing is we're using the expressed intent of the consumer when they say, I'm looking for homes for sale in a particular geography. We are then connecting to them through SEO, search engine optimization. And what that does is that helps us reach a transaction-ready consumer, a consumer who is saying, I'm looking for a home to buy right now.
And what percentage of the 13 million people who come to the site each month are actually transaction-ready?
Well, we don't have an exact way to measure that. So what we do know is that we grew our traffic. So if we look at our overall traffic growth, our traffic has grown 37% year over year. The number of leads that we generated to our agents and brokers have grown 48%. So we know as we're bringing traffic in, that traffic is converting to leads at a faster rate, right? So for users we bring in, they're very likely to convert to a lead for our agent and broker customers.
Right, but leads are not, you and I both know that the measurement of leads alone does not mean that they're transaction ready, meaning that they're going to buy something in the next even 3 months. So when you talk about, we started this and you said that you're growing fast, but that you're not really measuring transactions, you're not really measuring traffic in the same way, right? Zillow's way out there, but you are growing traffic and developing more leads out of it. But isn't the real measure of transaction-ready customers who's actually doing the buying?
That's for sure. And that's where we don't have a full closed loop right now. So we don't have a way to connect the lead that we have sent to an agent and broker. We don't have a full feedback loop from that to tell us when a transaction closes. That really, we hand that relationship off, and then that relationship remains with the agent. So we don't have great data in terms of leads handed over and do transactions. What we do know is that with the size of our audience and the number of leads we're generating, it's a much higher percentage of our audience. When you start growing it to 50, 100, 140 million unique visitors in a month, you really are looking at a law of diminishing returns.
Well, it's a good thing you haven't hit that part yet.
That's right, and that's not our goal. Again, we think something like 20 million is probably ideal.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of people. Any way you cut it, it's a whole lot of people.
That's
I just wish the real estate industry reflected more action and less viewing, because as you've got your 20 million page views, and we've talked about how many, tens of millions you're looking at, or 100 million from Zillow. Lots and lots of people are looking, not a lot of people are doing, and that is truly one of the biggest problems in the real estate market today.
Absolutely.
Dave Mele is the president of Homes.com. Thanks again for coming back today, Dave.
Elise, thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
We'll have you back again soon. And thank you for watching this episode of Big Money Real Estate. As always, you should send me your questions on Twitter. My address on Twitter @Glink, and Facebook, so that I can answer your questions on future shows. And be sure to share this video all around. You can check out some of my cool products on thinklinkstore.com. I'll see you next time. I'm Elise Glink.